Welcome to A Chat with Heart. I'm your host, Christina Martin. I'm a singer-songwriter. I live on a dirt road with my best friend Dale in rural Nova Scotia, Canada. A Chat with Heart is just me having chill conversations with people I want to celebrate and topics that I'm curious about. If you have a question or a comment for this podcast, call my Heartbeat hotline, 1-902-669-4769. To send this podcast even more love, visit me online at patreon.com/Christina Martin. I'm so happy you're listening. Our personal stories have great power to heal, influence, and inspire. All we have to do is show up for the conversation. If we just talk about it, we could shine a light, we could break a dark day. If we just talk about it, we can cut away, we can make a brighter day. Hey folks, I'm going to try to make this short so we can get to my lovely guest. How you doing? I'm having one of those weeks where I feel tested. I feel triggered. Last minute demands I didn't account for have thrown me off my game. Bit of a struggle, but in this moment, actually feel better. I'm going to, keep doing all the little things I need to do to calm my nervous system down. My body learned at a young age to go into fight or flight mode for a number of reasons. And I guess in my 30s, definitely in my 40s, I've kind of come around to understanding, what my triggers are and how to try and respond to them in a more, mature fashion. But it's hey, I still struggle. In any case, I'm trying to fight the urge also to overwork or rush. I'd say, if I do this and this, I'll feel better. And just, it doesn't always work that way. So anyway, I'll be fine. I'm just saying all this because I really trying not to be that person who only, talks about the good things. I have a good life. I am happy, but man, I still have my moments and struggle. And I just want you to know if you're feeling the same way, you are not alone. And maybe that's why I have a heartbeat hotline you can call. I forget the number, but it's at the end of this podcast and in every single episode. If you want to call it, if you feel like you want to express how you're feeling, I'd be happy to hear. So yeah. I live with my best friend who I can say anything to, and I always feel heard, and he's a great hugger, and I feel supported no matter how frazzled I feel on the inside. And I really genuinely hope that you have that too. And if you don't, I'm sending you it's going to sound gross, an oral hug. I'm sending you an audio hug. It's going to be okay. You're okay. My guest today has been a friend, I want to say since 2008 or 9, around that time. I could be wrong, but that's when my memory started improving. She's booked me for events. I've hired her to event plan and manage one of my release shows, and so much fun working with this woman. She's got a heavy-hitting roster of artists that she books. Every one of them, I think they all know this, are super fucking lucky. She's co-produced a show coming up in Halifax. We're going to talk about that. It's called, I'm going to talk about it now too. It's called Big Shiny Tunes. It's happening over 2 nights. One night is sold out. There's still tickets for Friday night, February 2nd and 3rd. And I'm stoked to be a guest performer this year. I have 2 songs I'm singing from the Big Shiny Tunes repertoire. So tickets, you can find them at the Marquee website, Marquee in Halifax, or on my website, ChristinaMartin.net. I'm going to share the link. Halifax and Dartmouth, Nova Scotia make up like 23% of this podcast's little heartbeat listeners. So that's why I wanted to mention it to you. February 2nd and 3rd. in Halifax at the Marquee. I hope to see you there. It's going to be a blast. Okay, my guest today is Stephanie Purcell. She's been devoted to the events industry for over 15 years. Her passion for live entertainment followed her from Newfoundland to Nova Scotia, where she has become an award-winning agent and manager. She's helped bring events of all kinds to life, working closely with clients to realize their vision, no matter how big or small. Steph prides herself on sweating the small stuff. It's true. She loves in the details with Steph. Enthusiastic, ambitious, and trusted, and many more things, as you'll hear in this episode. Stephanie is with you every step of the way, from the idea to the stage. She's an expert in creating the perfect atmosphere with the right live performance. Now, this isn't an ad, but listen, if you are planning an event and you want it to be awesome, visit voxagency.ca, VOX agency.ca, to contact Steph, and then you can make magic happen together. Yay! Are you ready to be on a Chat with Heart podcast?
I'm ready to be on a Chat with Heart.
You've been on my list for a long time.
Oh, so nice. I'm a little bit nervous, so I'm going to have to pee in the middle. So if I do, I might have to do that.
Oh, you're allowed to take pee breaks. Like we whatever you need, I'm here. Like this is a chill chat with heart, and sometimes chats with heart require bowel movements.
Okay. I don't think I'll have to do that, but I just hopefully not.
I mean,
back a little bit.
I meant a break to get to a spot where you can. Anyway, yeah.
All right. Hilarious.
Hey, listen. I asked a bunch of people who know and love you for some words that describe you. And I'm going to read them to you.
Okay.
And who knows, I might stop along the way and ask some questions here. But I got to say, I literally just put this out like in the last 14, 16 hours. Okay. And I have an entire page here.
Oh, wow.
It was quite quick, and it was interesting to see the overlap.
That's funny.
So the consistency was good, was positive.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm curious, I would be curious to know whether any of these things surprise you.
Okay.
This one didn't surprise me. Because it was one of my words to describe you. It came up a lot. Vivacious.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like
totally.
It.
When I think of you, when I picture you, I picture you. You're not in the room. Your hair blowing in the wind, and you just like got this great strut and like confidence, and like you could be in a glorious shampoo commercial on the beach. Yeah. Vivacious.
Oh, fun.
Shepherd.
Oh.
Yeah. Like you're good at, I'm assuming like shepherding.
Like herding the sheep. Shepherding the sheep.
You're a herder. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that for sure. I can see that as, I can see people say, I would have never thought of that word to describe myself, but I can see why people would say that.
Yeah, you often herd people to your house for parties.
Yes, I do. Yes, I love that. It's one of my favorite things. I've done that many times, leaving the bar and shepherding the people.
Mm-hmm.
And people even thinking, I'm never going to see that woman ever again in my life. And then they show up at my house. That actually happened at one night we were out and the Arkells were playing in town. And I went over to see Andrew Jackson and invite him over. And of course, horn players hanging out with horn players. That definitely happens. And he thought, and that there was a couple other people at the table. And one of them happened to be one of the horn players in the Arkells. And I just said, hey, Andrew, I was like, we're coming to a party. And then he had said, oh, this is so-and-so from, he played with the Arkells tonight. I was like, oh, awesome. If you guys want to come to a party, like, love to have you, blah, blah, blah. And later they show up at the party, and the guy who plays with the Arkells, he was just like, I got to tell you, you came up to the table at the bar. It was at the local. And he's like, I thought to myself, I'm never going to see that woman again in my life. And he goes, and here I am now at your house at this party. And it was so funny. And in the morning, I remember on the floor, there was a backstage pass that obviously was his backstage pass that was left on the floor of my kitchen.
Oh my God.
When obviously he left it there. So anyway, it was pretty funny.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Never know who's going to show up. Yep.
Well, that came up a lot. That was social butterfly. Oh wait, there's Jesus. This is such a long list here.
Oh my God, how many people did you write?
Well, I mean, a good solid handful of like people. I'm like, I know this person knows Steph. You know.
Yeah.
Ooh, tenacious.
Okay. Yeah.
Opportunistic. Hardworking. You can probably guess who said this one. Groovy.
Yeah, Leaf. Yeah.
I said this was going to be anonymous, but I mean,
that's a pretty easy giveaway one. Yeah, for sure.
Funny and fun loving, fun. That came up a lot. Yeah.
Okay, good. I love that.
Unstoppable.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. Passionate came up a lot. Let's go over these boring ones. Loving, kind, genuine. No, these are boring. These are really good qualities.
I love genuine.
Genuine. Yeah, you're one of a kind. Genuine, unique, loyal, yes. I mean, I see that with you and your friends and your clients loyal.
Yeah, I'm very loyal. It's a Scorpio trait.
Have you ever have you ever fucked anyone over? Like, have you ever?
No, I don't do that. That's why I actually have a good reputation in this industry, because I don't do that sort of thing.
Oh, this one somebody gave me. Actually, okay. Well, couple people gave me like full sentences. Okay.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
One of the very few people in Canada who loves and respects artists and will fight to get them what they deserve.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Now on the side, maybe you want to get a quote from this person.
Okay.
It's a good contact. I mean, you already have the contact. You work with this person.
Yeah. Okay.
They're very funny. I won't give you anything more. Strong. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A force. You're a force. I love that.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Love that.
Knows how to enjoy life. Bold. Big laugh. You have a great laugh.
Thank you.
Knows what she wants. Was that always the type of person you were?
Yeah, I'd say for maybe not when I was like in my career-wise, probably not in the early days. I didn't really know, like, you know, when you're in your early 20s, like, what do you know? You know?
Yeah.
But I think I always knew what I wanted in a general sense, you know, out of life, so to speak. Might not always know exactly the path I was going to take, but yeah, I would say I definitely know what I want and try to get it.
Yeah. Break it down. How do I get this?
How do I get this?
So have you spent a lot of time, like, have you done the whole, like, what are my values and like the decisions I'm making aligning with those? And like, have you done that kind of work in your life, or has it been sort of like, I'm going to sit around, I'm going to have a coffee, maybe smoke a joint and like think about what it is I want and then just like go for it? Is it like more simple?
I'd say I've definitely done some work with that, with myself and probably with some like trusted people to talk about it and write it down. I definitely I went through that process starting my business, like figuring out what you want out of life. I mean, you know, once you're like, you know, 35, it's time to start thinking about a lot of different things that you want out of life, because you need to make those decisions out of, you know, career-wise and family and just yourself and like what you want to experience in life. I think I probably around that time probably thought about a lot of things. And the time leading up to starting my business, I know I definitely spent a lot of time writing things down, not just thinking about it, but actually writing it down and figuring out how to get there.
Yeah.
And I still do that. I write things down and, from goals or like trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B kind of thing,
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm going to come back to this list in a bit because there's more.
Okay. Fun. I like it. That's a good one.
So for my Little Heartbeat listeners, Steph, you're the founder and agent, award-winning agent at VOX Management Agency based in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I know for a while, during the pandemic, and I don't know about now, but people were just kind of sick of this word, pivot. But I'm going to use it because, your business, your livelihood relied on live entertainment, live events. And in my opinion, you were one of the best examples of pivoting during the pandemic. And I know you've got some examples of some wins in that department in just the first year when everybody was saying like, okay, that's it. Like live music, entertainment, it's dead. It's not happening. And you made it happen. Like,
it's so funny that you say that. I'm just trying to think. I'm like, what did I do?
Because it does seem like a long time ago now, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does. Yeah, but now you're right. I do remember working on things that we definitely did pivot.
I could think of some.
Okay, go.
Wasn't there? Yeah, no. Wasn't there some events you did instead of finding like the live venues? Like you found new venues like hotels, like with Dave Sampson.
Yeah, we did that just to get enough space and stuff. We did that and the numbers to make remember that when I think of words like, remember cohorts and things like that? Remember you could only have certain amounts of people.
Yeah.
No, we did that. We did multiple events with like 200 people in the room. Those giant rooms that fit like 800 people or something or 600 people. We put 200 in.
Yeah.
It's just funny when you think about that now. We worked with clients on an outdoor, remember we did the car drive-ins, shows.
So fun.
And then we definitely did with clients was actually quite a bit of people doing pre-recorded performances for events so that they could have their online Zoom, conference and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we definitely did do that with talent. So definitely in some ways like that. But I know it's funny when you bring that up because it was a while ago,
Yeah, it was a while ago. And when people talk, well, some people I've heard say, well, thank God that's behind us and whatever. But there's still a part of me that's like, this could happen again. This could happen again.
Yeah.
Like it is kind of predicted that. And but there's also a bit of like, I hate to say like, thank God we went through that. And now we might be better prepared. But that is kind of on my mind always. It's like, well, at least we won't have to spend as much time, learning how to pivot and imagining what this could look like. We already have this.
Once you've gone through it too, it's a completely different thing and it makes it less scary. I think especially from the business perspective, the personal side was scary in a totally different way, but on the business side, like how to survive and how to figure it out. And I think it would be, but I hope we have to go through it at any time in the near future. But I don't think that it's behind us. I think we're still going to see a lot of fallout from it. I think a lot of businesses are going to close still. I think this year we're going to see a lot of small businesses close, unfortunately. Just even seeing all the people talking about, paying back the SEBA loan, the big loan, and a lot of people can't do it. I feel very grateful that we could do it.
Yeah, same.
And I know, you definitely have conversation with people about it and, it was there for a reason. And it is a loan. I mean, I don't think it's terrible that people, now they still have an opportunity to pay it back. It's not like, it's like, okay, we don't get it. You're done. Now it's like a loan with a lot longer extension on it, obviously. And you have to pay interest, which is not fun, but it's, it was a means to an end for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it helped companies like ours survive, thank goodness. But
Absolutely.
I know we're going to start seeing that. And you even see, we were just, friends of mine were talking about recently, like we see a lot of like little shops close around Halifax lately, like clothing stores and like decor and just little independent, nice little shopping shops. And like there's a lot gone, which is, very sad. But, in the events world, I think a lot of people that we work with are still alive and working well, and their businesses are doing well, and I hope that continues to be the case and that we don't see any of them go under. But I think I still think there's a lot from the pandemic that we still have not yet seen that is still left over.
I agree. It's interesting because I've seen a handful of artists really actually thrive since the pandemic, and then I've seen others really have to do other things to make a living, and some have also given up doing music, at least for now. But it's all over the map. But yeah, of course, I have high hopes that everyone will find their own way, whatever that is. Like I used to think that if I had another source of income that I had failed in my music, career or whatever. And I don't believe that anymore, because I believe in doing whatever it takes so that I can continue. If that means having to have a side gig to pay the bills so that I can still do what I love, then I'm going to do it. And, so, I think a lot of people just have changed their perspective on how to approach this.
Yeah. Agreed.
Moving forward. But, I was curious to hear, as an agent and event planner, some of your, you don't have to throw anybody under the bus, but you could, pet peeves about, the people that you work with, or I bet you have like some awesome, now I know you have more success stories. I know that. Like, award-winning, company agent. We already know that about you, but we want the dirt here on A Chat with Heart, Steph. Like we want horror stories that perhaps helped you in the future, or maybe you just were out of your hands and you couldn't have predicted. Do you have anything you can give us?
Oh, wow. That's, I'm very lucky to not have really, I would say, many horror stories.
I do have pet peeves about working in this industry.
Okay, what's your pet peeve? What's a pet peeve?
Like people not responding to emails, even if it's a no, because they feel like they're going to hurt your feelings, or, I would much prefer, and I try to do this in my own practice of responding to emails, is like if it's not a no, but it's just not the right time, just let me know. Just something. Could be short and sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be my style too. I do try to try to be as honest and realistic with people as possible. But also it's a lot of times for me, people are asking things of other people. So even though I have my opinion, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't necessarily say that because it's not my decision. I'm asking somebody else, do you want to do this? And then I go back and let them know yes or no. So it's not always like up to me.
Yeah.
But I would say it's funny when you started on this, when you started this question earlier before you went into horror stories. But like pet peeves, like I was going to say, one of my things I find is people leaving things till last minute. And really not having a sense of what goes on in other people's businesses. And no, you can never truly understand that. But I do think when people are asking you for things like multiple times, what time is the performance, or, what time is the event going to be? And did you decide, are you doing this day or this day? Like, those things are like really key, critical, like details that people need to know. And just getting back to people in a little bit more timely manner. Like you're not the only event that we're working on, it's just like there are several events happening and a lot of people like in the game, whether it's on every single event. So I'm fascinated by how long people leave stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and especially when there's also, if you're coming to a city like Halifax, it's not that big. So while I don't deal with these certain things, there are, that I hear from other colleagues, it's like, there's only so many double-decker buses. There's only so many venues that hold 1,000 people. There's only so many AV companies in town, and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm always surprised by how long people take to like make a decision. Be like, oh, that'll happen. And also I feel like if you can get it done a little earlier, can you not get a better rate or, things like that? And just checking it off. I love checking things off the list. So that's why I'm always surprised people leave certain things just so long.
Yeah, we're like that. I think there's a chemical reaction that's happening in the brain when we literally check something off on an online document or on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It always shocks me when, I get it, but it shocks me when actually artists will ask me, like, it's this year, months away from the summer, and they're like, hey, how do you, so I think I really want to get into some festivals this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that thought should have happened like last year.
Last summer.
It's just, the reality is, and I maybe this is just something people don't know, but that a lot of venues, a lot of festivals, not all of them, some of them are last minute, but are actually booking now a year in advance. And sometimes they have their list started even before that. So it's like, I guess the importance of like, and this better than anyone, is like, or like building the relationships early, and being open to like last minute cool connections that could happen for sure. But being like uber over prepared, which is not, I don't know. I mean, like, do you see that? Do you see that in the artists that you work with? Like, that ability to like plan ahead and project manage and all that? Or is that not?
It does not exist with most people. I would say like there's some people I work with that are very organized and they do a lot of planning, but I see a lot of people pushing it to last minute. Very, very, very last minute. And, which is, it's not terrible. I do think though it leaves a lot of stress. Doesn't mean things don't pan out, but I do think it can leave a lot of stress for other players in the game, whether it's a band of 7 people or something. And, it's the artist that needs to make the decisions, not the band, but, the band maybe wanted a little extra time to learn things or contribute to the conversation. Or maybe certain people have like 3 big shows on all at the same, in the same time frame. So it's like you want to have the preparation time to get things done.
Yeah.
And also sometimes I think when people leave things till too last minute, you run out of time. Like or something, an outside factor could happen that makes you have to pivot or something of that nature. Yeah. And then you've got to like, get it done. But I do find artists, a lot of them like definitely push things very late. And understandably so. I understand a lot of people do have a lot of things on their plate and they have a lot of things to think about. And organization and scheduling and all that is not everybody's strength either. So, but people got to figure all that stuff out also like on their own. And sometimes it just works out for them all the time. So who are they to say, I'm
going to be an asshole on my podcast right now.
Okay.
And just say that I am getting so sick of people saying, oh, I'm just not good at this or that. Like I wasn't good at a lot of things either. And I had to do them. And I know it's hard. I don't fucking like doing so much of what I do. I hate it. I fucking hate it.
I know what you're saying about, people like, oh, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. But also I think some people are just like too afraid to dive in on things. It's kind of like, I think one of the biggest things is when you're talking about like money and in a business and you're dealing with accounting.
Yeah.
Like that was probably one of the scariest things in the beginning, like when we started my business and I'm trying to figure out, there's obviously a lot of things to figure out. And the number one thing, and I was explaining to a friend of mine the other day who just had started her business, and I was explaining to her about how I track my money. And yes, we have a system, like an online accounting system, and your bank account and all that, and all of your internal like chart of accounts, et cetera, like all through your accounting system.
Yeah.
But then I also have like spreadsheets where I track all my sales and I track everything I spend, and I'm in and out of these spreadsheets like every day. So even though we have proper software that tracks sales and tracks accounting and all that, I still do these manual documents because it's just a different way. It's so black and white. It's like, I have $5,000 this year to spend on this. And as the number keeps, and every time you look, it's like, you have 4,000 left, 3,000 left.
That's right.
And then when you're in your red, you're like, oh, you've overspent by $189 or whatever. Like,
yeah,
it's good to have a good read on that. And that was one of the biggest things I did when I jumped into my business was tracking all of the money in, the money out, and I do think that has helped to lead to success and also not just that, but peace of mind, of
absolutely.
Like understanding where all your money is. And I've kept up, some people might think it's silly to like be tracking everything like manually when it's all in these software documents, but I don't. I love it. I love seeing it in its most simplistic form, not looking up a report. I like just seeing it adding up and subtracting, and that's it. And it's the documents that I've spent all of, I'm in there every day pretty much, or every other day.
Yeah.
And I just think they just really help to give you a good snapshot of where your business is and where you need to go and what do you need to do to get to the end of the month, to the year end, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I do the same thing. In fact, if I didn't, I'd probably write more songs. But but then I don't know. I've always I've thought a lot about this because as a creator, but also like somebody who manages all the other details and looks at my business and tracks things and does projections, which I know is not typical, but my dad had an office, like he ran a business, and my mom was just always somebody who was just busy taking care of keeping things organized. She was at first a great stay-at-home mom and always kept busy, and then she was had a full-time job as a nurse and still managed the house and whatnot. But I think I just kind of got this combination of qualities from my parents. But like, where do you think you got it from? Like, were either of your parents like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. My parents were they were definitely the people who, track, the checkbook. Remember that little document that came with the checkbook and you write it all down and all that stuff?
Yeah.
But my parents were also very comfortable talking about money. And I think that and, they both worked and, so there was always definitely a lot of conversations about money. Mm-hmm. And it always has been. It's always been a comfort level for my whole family. There's always been an easy comfort level about talking about money, and it's just not a big deal. Whereas I know a lot of families do not have that.
They avoid
definitely
it.
don't. Oh no, they avoid it. They don't want to talk about it.
Totes.
It's actually really interesting as you get older, and you see people whose parents are passing away and things with wills and inheritances and or no money left and having to cover certain things obviously when someone passes or taking care of things. And it's just interesting, my family was always just very open about it, talked about it, so you think it's the norm, and then you kind of find out it's so abnormal that a lot of people just don't talk about it. Getting comfortable with money is just, I found, has really, really just helped me to, I guess, feel better about it, and also help you get to a place where you need to be about
That's
it,
right.
being more realistic and, all of those kind of things, business and personally.
I actually like going to my accounting year-end meetings. Is that weird?
Yeah, a lot of people don't enjoy that, and I understand why. It's also it's admin and it's numbers and it's paperwork and it's blah blah blah. So I get that, but
it's box checking, Steph.
Yeah, it is. It's good checking it off the box. I love my working with my accountant and getting things done, and But I just also keep up on it all year long, so it's not as like this big daunting pressure, Like I know some people literally do have the shoebox of receipts and drop it off at the accountant. It's like, oh my God, I just can't live like that. But I know people who do, and it works for them. That's fine. But I think there's a way of undoing some of that stress,
If your shit fits in a shoebox, I'm fucking envious of you.
Yeah, exactly.
First of all, like, fine, keep your shoebox. Mine would be like an extremely large, like, luggage, the largest piece of luggage you can imagine. And anyway, I don't want to leave out the fact, Steph, that you're from Newfoundland and Labrador. For our out of country listeners, that is a province in Atlantic Canada. And people from this part of Canada are known as being very warm and friendly, fun loving, and funny to the core, I think. And all of that describes you as well. And Newfoundland has, this sets it apart from the rest of Canada. It has its own unique language. It's called Newfoundland English or Newfinese. And I just would love to know what some of your favorite Newfinese sayings are.
First of all, I love hanging out with Newfoundlanders, like that people I don't see very often, and they come into town, and I just love hearing all of it. Just obviously reminds me of so much of growing up. But there's definitely sayings that I use or parts of the language like that I use a lot. Like you add S's to a lot of things, like I loves it, or I dies at that. I dies at you.
I dies at you. I knows it.
I knows, or just like knows. And sometimes I reply to that in like Instagram. People ask me a question, I'll be like knows, and they're like knows. Like it just means like for sure, or like for sure, or something like that.
KNOWS or NOS?
KNOWS.
Okay,
like
knows. It knows. Okay, cool.
Got me drove. That's
got me drove.
Got me drove. Like you're driving me crazy kind of thing. Like got me drove.
I'm going to use that one.
That got me drove is a good one for sure. And like just even simple things that like wicked, deadly.
Ooh.
Like deadly. Even just certain words that I still use. Like some people refer to like a hair clip, and I call it a buckle.
A buckle, and I would think that was buckle. A belt, something that would be in the belt area.
But it's a hair clip. So sometimes you say things and people are like, "Oh, what?" And it's like a buckle. Got me drove.
This makes sense. Got me drove. This makes sense in that I have some British friends, and they will say things. I have no idea what they're saying, but they're speaking English, and it's just interesting. Like even like jumper, which I believe I could be is a sweater, to us. But I think of a jumper as like a
one piece.
Yeah,
exactly.
So like interesting. A full thing. And I read, and I don't know if this is true or not, but Newfoundland English actually originated from like a lot of British English, specifically the area of Bristol, and also Scottish and Irish. So maybe that's that has a lot to do with the fact that we just have different words for different things.
Yeah, no, definitely. You hear a lot of different accents. There's some accents too that are along the Avalon Peninsula, like so like the East Coast that are they sound very Scottish. Very much so. It's like the cross between the Newfoundland and the Scottish accent, and then that's what you get. Yeah. It's very unique.
I love it. I've got some Newfinese sayings here. I'm going to throw at you.
Okay. Yeah.
Just curious if you've ever heard them or used them yourself.
Okay.
Let me see here. Here's one. You can't tell the mind of a squid.
No.
No?
I don't know that.
I've never heard it before, but
I've never heard that one.
I found it online. You can't tell the mind of a squid. Apparently it means you can't tell what an untrustworthy person might be thinking or doing because squids can move both backwards and forwards. That's clever, right?
Oh, that is clever. I actually have never heard that one.
Can't tell the mind of a squid. You only get one shot at a shellbird.
No, I don't know that one either.
That's okay. Neither do I. No, well, I mean, I'm pulling the information from the internet. Apparently, it means you can only fool a smart person once. So
Okay.
I guess a shellbird is smart
I don't even know what a shellbird is.
compared to like the dodo bird or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. This is a fine kettle of fish.
Yeah, kettle of fish.
Yeah.
It's my mother uses that one all the time. Kettle of fish also is like describing as like a whole bunch of things, like, oh, and a whole kettle of fish. Kettle of fish, like if you were going to like a dinner or something like that, and say they were having like Chinese food or something. Oh my God, she had everything there, like a whole kettle of fish.
Wow.
Meant like every different kind of, dish or something like that. All different things. Whole kettle of fish. Yeah, my mother uses that one a lot.
Love it. He's got eyes like a caplan going offshore.
Yeah. And it's a capelin.
It's a capelin?
Capelin. Yeah.
Capelin.
That's the type of little fish that it is.
And apparently these capelin fish are also smart. So a lot of the Newfoundlandese sayings refer to species that are smart in there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He's got eyes like a capelin going offshore. Mm-hmm. But I guess actually said of a person who has bloodshot eyes. I guess going offshore means, was that bad? Going offshore?
I don't know. There's something about capelin. I know capelin also just like come in with the tide. There's certain periods of time or something like that. And you can go down to the beach and there's just like capelin everywhere. I don't know. I remember that from my childhood.
He's got eyes like a capelin going offshore. All right. Sounds like something you, I guess, would say to somebody after a long night of drinking. Mm-hmm. And finally, my favorite, long may your big jib draw.
Yes, I have heard that one definitely. I don't know. I'm sure I've used it at some point in my life, but long may you be happy, healthy, happy, that sort of thing.
That's the one that I had to recite in order to be Screech-in. Can you explain to the listeners in St. John's, Newfoundland, 2019, have my certificate. Can you explain to the listeners what a Screech-in ceremony is?
A Screech-in ceremony makes you an honorary Newfoundlander, and they make you recite. They usually, when people are coming in from out of town, weddings, parties, various different things. I know there's a place on George Street, a bar on George Street that does Screech-ins as well. And you have to recite certain Newfoundland sayings. They make you do a shot of Screech, and they make you kiss the cod. And it's a real cod, like a big, slimy cod. My neighbors growing up, they had, it's like full cod that was just used for Screech-ins, and it was wrapped in their deep freeze, and it was like wrapped probably in like 100 bags or something so that the smell like didn't get out or into everything else. And the cod is like, the people will be like, oh, call Walt and get his cod for the Screech-in. And so it's like this codfish that's been like thawed and frozen like several times, countless times. I'm sure the thing lasts for like years, and then they replace the cod. But certain people in town would have a cod for Screech-ins.
Yeah, it's kissing the cod. The cod that I had to kiss was fucking gross. Like it had this. It was like it was at a bar on George Street, I think, and I can't remember the name of it. But it was frozen. They pulled it out of the freezer. It had this really this kind of arch to it because of after it had thawed. Every time it thawed, I think it kind of arched a little bit more. And I mean, it looked terrifying and disgusting. And it was funny because before you kissed it, and there were other people in the ceremony that had to kiss the same cod. This was pre-COVID, just before COVID. Might have been the cause. Might have been the cause of COVID. They would pour alcohol over it, like as if that would make it, sanitize it. Yeah, it was. I hesitated. Yeah, but
I bet.
I did it. I did it.
I've never had to kiss the cod because I am a Newfoundlander, but I do think it's a fun ceremony to watch people go through. Like it's a fun thing, and people love it. Like I think it's a fun little thing to do for sure. And I would highly recommend it if you're ever on George Street visiting to go in and just do it for the fun of it.
It is fun. I have a video somewhere. I don't know where, but it's yeah, it was a hoot.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about the big event that's happening this coming week in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Since 23% of my listenership is in Halifax and Dartmouth, I want them to know. I want them to be there. So tell us about the Big Shiny Tunes event at the Marquee.
So excited about it. This is our third installment of Big Shiny Tunes at the Marquee. The first one that we did a couple years ago was we did it was kind of like the first show a lot of people went to coming out of COVID, like without a mask on. It was a big I found it was kind of like very meaningful. Like people really, they were just, so excited for multiple reasons. And it was a big moment in time, I feel like, for so many people, because it was the first thing that a lot of people went to in a crowd. And everyone was just like singing at the top of their lungs. They knew like every word to every song, and it was absolutely incredible. So last year we did it again, and last February, and now we're doing it again this year. Saturday is sold out. Advance tickets are sold out, but Friday still has some tickets. We're really excited about the cast that is performing in the show. And a big part of this is the bands that perform. We have two bands that one plays, first set and second set. And obviously it's a lot of material for them to learn, and they do an absolutely incredible job. Like, yeah. I'm so impressed with the band every year. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys like learned all these songs, and they learned them as close as possible to the original recordings.
Yeah.
Which is what people really want to hear, and it's just like nostalgia to the max, you know? So, and this year we're excited. We're including some extra like banger hits from that era that were not on the Big Shiny Tunes records. But they're songs that we all feel like should have been on, or people think that they would be on. And it's just exposed, some more of those really incredible songs that people love from that time. And it really like brings you back for sure. But yeah, it's incredible. I'm very excited about it. I produced the show with Mike Farrington Jr., and he's our musical director, and with Dave Sampson. And we have a great time doing it, picking out the songs. It's pretty fun, actually, when the three of us get together in the original time period of picking a collection of songs that we all agree to, because, everyone's kind of coming at their own feelings about songs. So you have a tendency to like defend a song, or understand if like, no, okay, fine, you guys, like, we won't do that song, or like, we have to do a particular song. And most of it, we're all totally on the same page. But if it's like 2 against 1, then 2 people are like, we're not doing that song, then we just don't do the song. It's just like, nope, it's not happening. It's got a pretty funny process, but it's fun. Very, very fun.
That is awesome. I think I would be shut down if I was on that committee, all my song choices, but I would stand by them. I would push hard, but I'm excited. I'm thrilled to be singing this year, and I'm pumped for rehearsals. So folks, get your tickets for Friday night, because Saturday's sold out, and I'll be posting the links. Well, you can buy tickets on my website, Marquee website too.
Yeah, down there. Their 2037 Gottingen Street website. That's kind of houses all of their venues. They have 3 venues inside one building now. So you can get them there. And any of the artists that are performing, the link is posted all over the place, honestly, like on the Facebook event and all over the internet. All the talent are posting about the event. So it's a pretty easy thing to find. And it's an incredible night. I find everyone has a great time. We always hear wonderful things about it. And everyone has a great time in the audience, and everyone has a great time backstage. It's really fun to see all the camaraderie with everybody. And because a lot of these people don't get to play together ever. Or some people are meeting like for the first time. And it's really cool actually seeing the friendships that have come out from this event of people that just met each other like 2 and 3 years ago. Like, it's just a very cool experience, and everyone's cheering each other on. And yeah, it's a very positive event to be involved in, and I love it. And yeah, it's just a nice group of, people making friends and friends coming together. It's awesome.
I could use some more friends.
Yeah.
I could use a good time. I ditch my existing friends. I get me some old. No, I'm going to get me some new friends. Yeah.
New friends. Yeah, no, it'll be great.
Good. Yeah, of course it will be. This is going to be awesome. And you're awesome. And because you're awesome, I've written a little goodbye statement that I'm going to read to you. Thank you so much for being on the Chat with Her podcast, Steph.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, Steph. Goodbye. You are a change agent, a connector, a beautiful and generous soul, a stellar role model. When you want something, you figure out a way to manifest it for yourself, and you do the same thing supporting many artists and clients. You're a priceless asset to our music industry, not only in Atlantic Canada, but in Canada. You've always been there when I reached out to you. Working with you, watching what you do has made me better at what I do. Thank you for that. And I wish you continued success. May your biggest dreams come true, and long may your big jib draw.
Oh,
it's hard to say that with a straight face.
I love that. Thank you so much. It was wicked.
Slow. I don't want to say goodbye to you. Oh, I don't want to say goodbye to you. Welcome to the Heartbeat Hotline, 1-902-669-4769. I'm the host of A Chat with Heart podcast, Christina Martin, and I'm so excited you called. Leave me your question, a suggestion for the podcast, or a comment about this episode. Please be aware your message may be used on the podcast and social media. Tell me your name, where you're calling from, and it's also fine if you want to remain anonymous. Thanks for listening. Have a great fucking day. Thanks for listening to A Chat with Heart podcast, produced by me, Christina Martin, co-produced and engineered by my husband, Dale Murray. Dale's a stellar singer-songwriter and music producer, so check out his website, dalemurray.ca. The podcast theme song, Talk About It, and I Don't Want to Say Goodbye to You were written by me and recorded by Dale. Visit my Bandcamp to find CDs, vinyl, digital music, and fun merch like custom-made puzzles and temporary tattoo packs. Become a monthly or yearly supporter of this podcast and my music endeavors on Patreon. If you're new to Patreon, it's a membership platform that helps creators get paid. I love it. Sign up as a free or paid member at patreon.com/Christina Martin. I would love it if you had time to share, rate, leave a review, and subscribe to A Chat with Heart on all the places you listen to podcasts. Wishing you, my little heartbeat listeners, a great day.